Just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Bloke in a Bar. I'm here with the man himself, Jackson Hastings. What's going on, brother?
Thanks for having me, mate. Appreciate it.
Mate, how'd you get led in the country? Come from England.
Almost not got let in, mate. It was a hard process to sort of come over.
Yep.
Obviously doing the 2-week quarantine in the hotel. I actually applied to do it at home. My granddad's got like a granny flat off his house too. Yep. So applied to New South Wales government and they just wanted none of it. So spent 2 weeks in a shoebox and
Tell me what it's like, bro.
Well, I've never been to jail, but I'm guessing it's similar to that.
Just a bit nicer beds and shit.
Mate, honestly, like you couldn't change your sheets. They gave you 3 towels, 3 meals a day. Like, to be honest, it's all right.
Yep.
They're not the biggest meals in the world, but you could order like Deliveroo and things like that, which was great. And then got in contact with a company that delivered me a watt bike and stuff like that to try and keep me sane. But I went to plug my PlayStation in first day, bro, and because it was English, it didn't work. Like, I know, man. I was so rattled. Like I bought about 6 games. And
That's king rattle. That's rattled. Head noise fucked.
I thought like, you know what? I'm just gonna have a setup with my PlayStation here. I'll have like a little gym area over here.
Yep.
Play my PlayStation and I went, fuck you, beauty. Jumped back in bed, went to play, and bro, it just pretty much said won't work. And I went, what the fuck? So that rattled me for about 3 days, and then once I finally got over that, I just literally watched like podcasts. Just shit like that to keep me occupied, but it was hard. It was really hard.
So you couldn't like just get someone to deliver another PlayStation?
Well, yeah, it would have cost me. I wanted the PlayStation 5 for ages, bro. But then I thought like after 3 days, I was doing all right without it, and I just went, fuck it, I'll just use the laptop and my phone and stuff like that. But I was trying to just sleep for as long as I could, and then eat, work out, shower, eat, watch more films, and then.
It's got to do, yeah. Like, well, you just going, I'm going crazy.
Lad, I was going from having like 4 or 5 coffees a day with people, missus, friends, and that to sitting in a hotel room ordering coffee on Deliveroo to get delivered in cling film. Like, it was weird, man.
Just
like,
fucking...
And then on the last day, my day that I got out, because my plane landed so late the first day, they obviously had to equal up to 14 days. So I got let out at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, mate. So I woke up and I was buzzing, like ringing everyone, going, "Yes, I'm out today." And then I got a little slip under the door. It was your exit time. 5 p.m, bro. I was rattled again.
Oh my god! Do you get used to it, like 7 days in, or not really? You're always like, "This is fucked."
You get used to this. You get used to it in the sense that you're like, right, well, this is what it is. So after 3 or 4 days, as I said, I was just like, well, this is my life for the next 11 or so days, and my whole mindset sort of changed. To be fair, like. I've struggled in the past with like mental stuff and things like that, so I just had to try and do things that put me in a good headspace. Training was one. Just watching things that would lift me up was another thing. So like, if I was feeling in a shit place, I'd either ring my mum. She would obviously be like, "Look, just suck it up," sort of thing, or I'd watch something on my laptop that would put me in good spirits too. So I had heaps of people like FaceTime and missus, obviously. Constantly. Adrian Lamb, my coach, was in quarantine in Melbourne, bro. I FaceTimed him.
Oh, really?
Lad, he was just in his undies 24/7. It was quite funny, actually. But I had a lot of people that reached out to want to help me in terms of talking to me. Like sometimes, as I said, I was in a bad sort of headspace and didn't want to talk to anyone. But after I was on the phone for half an hour, you're grateful for that time. Well,
this isn't gonna help your headspace. I actually have a PS5 and I've barely used it.
I know, I saw the box for it somewhere.
Bro, yeah, it's just in there, and it's in there. I honestly have barely used it.
Yeah, to be fair, like I don't really play the PlayStation that often.
But you just thought that you'd get into it?
Yeah, I thought like, right, I'll buy 6 games.
What games you buy?
Bought UFC, FIFA, Madden, 2K. I'm not very good at shooting games, but I bought like Call of Duty. I don't know which one. So I thought, fuck, I'm set, bro. Like if I get bored of one, I'll just play the other one. Yeah. And I started a career in NBA 2K. I'm into my basketball, so I started a career, and I thought, you know what, I'll get this guy to like level 98, and I'll be a freak by the end of it. And then went to play, bro, and it's just denied. So I thought that was going to ruin my whole 2 week stay, but I found a way around it, bro, and I was all right.
You know what? It's probably better because like you would first force to concentrate on good things for you, like reading books. Yeah. You know, listen to podcasts. And
I was kind of lucky because we were sort of talking about this before we started, but my manager, he's had JT since he was a kid, so I hadn't read JT's book, so I got that dropped off, and that was interesting to obviously hear about his life. You sort of watch him play and play against him, and you're in awe of him as a person, but like once I've read from start to finish of his book, it was quite cool. It killed a lot of time too. I can't really read, bro.
You're like 1 page an hour.
Like I had to do the odd finger on the word too. I'm hopeless at reading. Yeah, like I didn't do very well at school. So I was talking to my cousin on the way up actually, and I only read things that are sports related. Okay. So I've read his book. I've read Joey's book. I want to read Cam Smith's book and things like that.
I think I got two.
So well connected, man.
Bro, this is signed too.
Oh, you are the man. Have you read it?
I haven't. I don't know if I'll let you know if I can, because I think there might be someone that still needs it. But if not, I'll send it to you, because I started reading it.
Yeah.
Bro, he's the goat.
Do you just
for people fucking watching? This is Cam Smith's signed book. It's whatever. It's not a big deal.
Do you show the pictures? That's what I do.
Bro, it's not a big deal. Settle down. Like, yeah, it's Cam Smith's signed book. He come on the show. It's not a big deal, bro. You're wigging out. He's fangirling.
I am a little bit.
No,
I am a little bit.
I'm joking. No, it's really good, bro. He's fucking unbelievable. People just, I can't speak highly enough of Cam Smith. So, what was the best documentary or movie that you watched in that break?
Mate, I watched MJ's film again, The Last Dance.
Bruh.
Like, I'm a massive LeBron. Like, I'll always say LeBron's a GOAT. Obviously, I didn't get to see MJ play. I think he played his first game the year I was born, so I never grew up watching him or didn't get to appreciate how good he was. And I've had this debate with so many people, like LeBron's way better passer, better downhill, all these like basketball terms. I think I know everything, but I don't. But watching that doco, bro, it just gives you a different like look to what he was like as a person in terms of like, I don't know, just when people like go up to him before a game from the other team and go good luck, and he sits back in his chair with his big cigar and his boondoggle house going, I took that personal. You know what I mean? And then he'd go out and score 60 points and smash him. Like,
I personally think, and I don't know nothing about basketball, so this is the worst opinion. If there is one opinion not to listen to, it's this one right now. But for a standpoint of like, regardless of basketball, I think Jordan's better because of his cultural impact. I don't think LeBron has had the same cultural impact
100%,
as Michael Jordan has. Now, that could change. But like, if there is like one thing that can like sway the debate, I mean, if anything, I feel like Kobe could have even had more impact than LeBron.
For sure.
Impact culture-wise.
Yep.
But in saying that, LeBron hasn't retired yet, so we don't know.
Yeah, and like LeBron's playing at 38. By the end of his career, I think he's got 2 more years with the Lakers.
So he's so incredible.
If he plays nearly every game, I think he'll have every record, like points, assists, rebounds, playoff games, all that sort of stuff. So I'm just a fan of athletes. Like, I don't follow a team in like football, NFL, basketball. I just appreciate great players. Like, everyone talks about the Messi Ronaldo debate. Just fucking appreciate them while they're playing, bro. Because when they're done, like, obviously we've got Mbappe and people like that coming through playing soccer, but like, no one's ever going to be on the pedestal like those two. It's like Cam Smith. Like, everyone's telling him to hurry up and make a decision. I think, like, this is my own personal view again. Like, he's earned the right to call it quits whenever he wants. And I know the two boys down there that play hooker need to sort their futures out, and I totally get it from that point of view. But when you're going to be an immortal and you've done what he's done, I think you deserve as much time as you want.
But you know what else is a factor that people, a lot of people that haven't read his book don't know? He waited. He literally went to the hooker that was at the Storm, said to the hooker, you tell me where you're going, and then I'll go. Yep. So it's not like he's asking something of these younger players that he wasn't willing to do for the veteran. And he respected the veteran ahead of him. And the boys, I've spoken to Harry Cheese, like they're the same. Like, obviously you want to know what's going on. But Cameron Smith has already said publicly, I will not stay at the Storm if it means that they lose either player.
Yeah.
So
I think he understands. He's not that selfish of a person to put the club in jeopardy of
if
losing
anything,
two of the
he's
best players.
unselfish.
Yeah,
because he could just be like, bro, I'm the GOAT. Like, you wait and listen to what I'm going to say. The urgency is created by the media. Like, this whole urgency, like, why? Why do you need to know? Do you really give a fuck about Harry Green or Brendan Smith? No, you don't. You don't give a fuck.
They don't give a fuck about anyone. They just want the best headline possible,
100%.
Don't they?
Just that you put Cameron Smith in the headline, people are going to click it.
100%.
But yeah, LeBron, like, again, I don't know much about basketball, but just watching him when he plays, like, his athleticism is unfucking. Have you seen the video of him playing and like running a route for NFL?
Yeah, bro. It's
God.
what is he? He's like 6'8". I don't know.
Unbelievable.
Is he like 260 pounds? I don't know what that is in kilos.
Yep.
And he's just so fast and dynamic, bro. And like the way he looks after his body, like never been in trouble off the court. So I think all that sort of pushes in his favour. But then Jordan, like watching that doco, bro, it's just a whole nother level of like just pure dominance.
Yeah.
Like someone that's a team game, but like, you know, when it gets to the last 2 minutes in a game and all the players are like, what'd you do in this situation? They went, fuck, we just give the ball to Michael and move out the fucking way. You know what I mean? So it's like in rugby league, like it's a 13-man game. You need to score a try in the last 2 minutes. Like, I suppose back in the day, Joey, GI, Lockie, people like that.
GI is probably the most, I reckon, that you were like, just get the fucking ball.
Like, I mean, when he played centre at Melbourne, bro, like you would have played against him. I'd obviously played him when he played fullback at
Sorry,
South.
I've got to say this, and this is going to piss the podcast people off. They hate when I say this because I say it all the time. GI, chipped my tooth. I've still got a chipped tooth
I've
from GI.
actually listened to you say that like 4 times, bro.
Hey guys, listening? I got a chipped tooth from GI when he fended my face. And they was like, bro, you fucking say that story all the time.
Bro,
anyway.
you know when he was like maybe 10 kilos lighter, played in the centres for Melbourne,
bro.
and like I think Finchy spoke about it with you, and he just used to say my job was to give the ball to GI
100%.
when he wanted.
Easiest job in the world.
Lad, like when I used to, I think it was the grand final against Melbourne when he was playing 6 and he scored that 70-metre try, and just the way he ran, bro.
It's honestly, I know it's going to sound dramatic, it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen.
Mate, it's
a bloke in like full flight, gliding in that fucking huge fend.
That's literally poetry in motion. When
100%.
people say that, that's what he looked like.
Absolutely. Especially when he was a bit lighter.
Yeah, for sure.
Then he went to Rabbitoh. He got massive. I was like, bruh, where did that come from? You should have seen Greg Inglis in Queensland Cup, bro. It was like, it's the craziest shit. It's the most dominant I've ever seen anyone play.
I saw those highlights because he's going to Warrington, so I'm going to have to play him this year, which I'm not looking forward to.
No way.
That'll be great. But
he looks fit too, bro.
Yeah, he
so
looks
I'll be
good, doesn't he?
scared.
Hopefully he plays left centre, then I don't have to worry about him. But, I might have to get on the wing defensively if he's playing on my side. But was it North Devils he played for?
Yeah, North
Devils. I
Devils.
watched his debut. Was he like 17 in Q Cup? And he just looked like he was playing against boys, bro. It was scary.
Mate, he's just like, there's like this beautiful physique in the Indigenous like DNA. It's like Latrella's got it, Greg Inglis has got it, and it's honestly like the perfect physique for rugby league. Like long arms, fast, strong, long stride. Just incredible. Yeah, he's incredible, bro. What'd you think of? Did you watch Origin last year?
Yeah.
What'd you think of that?
It was different, obviously, at the back end of the year. It was sort of hard for people that played deep in the final series. Obviously, Munster coming off his bender to get player of the series.
So fucking sick.
The best video I've ever seen, bro, is when he jumps on Alfie's back and he starts riding him and Alfie's throwing the beards around. So
you know what people don't realise is like, because like we're in the moment, bro, that's our Joey folklore moment.
Yeah,
like we're
100%.
going to tell our kids of the time Cam Munster went on a bender, rang up, asked to not go into camp. He's ringing Wayne. Oi, bro, can I just get a fucking few more days on the fucking beers?
I just want to go to Byron, bro. I'll be there for game 1, don't worry. And then
goes game 1, kills it.
Yeah.
Game 2 gets knocked out. Game 3 comes back out, plays one of the greatest Origin games you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. Obviously, I'm a New South Welshman through and through, but...
So it's stinging to hear that.
It does sting to watch them lose. But as soon as I saw them name Wayne as coach, like I know we didn't do too well for Great Britain, but like just the way... Did you had him at the Broncos?
Bro, I knew it was a perfect scenario because he can galvanise people. He doesn't need years to bring people together. He's mythology.
I've never met a man that can get a group of people to just buy into one thing. And bro, like when he sits on the back of the bus and he's going, pump the fucking tunes, and like he wants to know stories about all sorts of things. But like even when you're having lunch, so I remember like me and 2 of the lads just had lunch in New Zealand somewhere, and he was walking on his own. And instead of just walking past us, he sat down and he wanted to know about like your family, like where you're from.
Who were the 2 other lads?
I can't really remember. I think Luke Thompson might have been one.
Oh, so English lads.
Yeah, like we're on Great Britain tour.
Okay.
So I can't remember off the top of my head, but we're just sitting there having a coffee on a day off, and like Bentos gets up to whatever he wants. Obviously, knows people everywhere, and he just sat down and he wanted to know, like, do you own a house? Where do you own a house? What's your goal in life post footy? So like to obviously be around him, and you see the serious side of Wayne at training and things like that, but then you get him on the bus, then you get him like in the team room or having a coffee. He's fucking a legend, mate. Like I texted him after the Queensland one, actually. I just said, obviously I'm a Blues mate, Blues born and bred, supported him since I was a kid, but congrats, mate. I knew you would have had something in store for us. And he wrote back, just started laughing. He goes, it was a bit like when I took over the English team and England beat New Zealand. Like, no one expected them to, but he was just like, mate, I had a group of players there that bought into what I wanted.
Yeah.
And that's what happens when a team buys into it.
Mate, he's something special. He's something special, absolutely. And he was the perfect man for the situation.
Oh, they needed him. Like, in that situation, as you said, you wouldn't want anyone else to... And as soon as Kevy got the Brizzy job, I had a feeling that Wayne was going to do it. And then I liked, obviously, we'll probably get into it a bit more, but I love when Cherry... I kind of like what Cherry did at the end, the mic drop. How good's that, bro?
That's like, also Origin folklore.
100%.
You need the dramatic stuff.
But then, like, obviously now, like in New South Wales next year, they'll get that stuff played and they'll be able to get ammo off that 100%. Too. So I think, although the series was weird at the back end of the year, it's built nicely for next year.
Oh, bro. Like, because
imagine the fight
as well. Can you imagine the Blues boys? They'll just play that on repeat.
Yeah.
Play that on repeat, and they'll be sitting there just frothing to get into it. I think one of the most, not underrated, but just a stroke of brilliance. So, like, there was articles released before the Origin camp of, like, Wayne the Grinch because he said no to a documentary in camp.
All right, yeah.
And Freddie, I think, had said yes.
Right.
And Wayne was being painted as this like old Grinch and like let people have this documentary. It was like the Last Dance style documentary.
Yeah.
Look what happened. He knew that he couldn't afford to have those distractions in camp.
Bro, we had one for Great Britain actually, and it got released not long ago. It was actually pretty cool, but I think Wayne walked up to the cameraman and said, "You can do it, but don't put that fucking camera on me once." So,
really?
So like I watched it before I come over actually, and it's actually quite nice. It's James Graham, obviously his last test for England, Great Britain.
Okay, yep.
So it's a lot on him, a lot on the older boys in the team and stuff like that. Obviously, it's disappointing we didn't play that well and got beaten all our games, but I think Bentos made it pretty clear that he didn't want his head on camera.
Wasn't interested in it, mate. It was smart. It was so smart. Young team does not need cameras walking around asking them questions. They need to be razor.
You get a bit edgy. You get a bit edgy of what you can do too, because like you don't know these people or what they're gonna put on this. Obviously, they're not gonna do anything bad with it. But you like.
Well, I mean, they might. You don't know what you can say. Like you know what a locker room's like. The shit you say in there, like half the stuff you don't even mean.
Bro, yeah,
you know what I mean?
you don't remember what you said from. Like, how long ago? It was
like,
over a
year
ago.
Say a joke between me and you know it's a joke.
Yeah.
And like I know it's a joke, but the people listening be like, "That's so offensive." Rah rah. And it's like, bruh, like this is between me and you, and you couldn't do that.
It's like us two talking, and one of us accidentally have our phone on record, and I'll watch it back 8 months later. I'm like, "What the fuck? I didn't say that."
Yeah, I didn't say that. It's on record. Yeah, you don't even remember what you're saying. Anyway, take us back to a young fella. So obviously grew up in Warilla.
Warilla, yeah.
Yep. And so was it? I think. I mean, we've obviously you've been on the podcast before, but we've got quite a lot of new listeners. So like, we'll go over your journey again. But you were always footy, hey?
Always, bro. Like from a young age, I just loved it. Like I was always too scared to play. I think I played my first game at 9, but like from when I can remember, like I've got photos. I'm living at my granddad's at the moment in Warilla. So there's photos of me sleeping with a footy, always in Roosters gear. Like my mum just sort of instilled this like. Not made me play, but it was almost forced upon me to want to make it. And then I didn't really. I was too scared, man. Like I was small, had long blonde curly hair. Didn't grow until I was about 18 or 17. Watched all my friends play on the weekend. Always had my boots on, ready to play. And then I'd go to run on, and I'd shit myself and run back to my mum, going, "I can't do it." And hug her leg, like,
no way,
mate. I was proper scared. But so I played soccer or football for the English people, and I played that till I was. 8 or 9, and then there was a gala day at Port Kembla, I think it was, and I had all my mates play for West Illawarra. My stepdad was the assistant coach, and I think at that point he just got sick of me being a pussy, so he grabbed me by the collar and threw me out there and said, "Fucking do your best."
No way. So he just like literally was like, "Get out there, stop."
Mate, you know those big touch footy boots, those big Asics?
Yeah,
I was running around in them. People had like mad pink boots on. I had these big white Asics shoe boxes, and I was running around and like I was a bit scared to tackle, a bit handsy, and then I remember I just got the ball in the clear. Like I think it might have been on the wing. And I just got it in the clear and ran and scored. And from that moment on, it just changed my whole mindset of wanting to play and be a rugby league player. And then I didn't even know my dad played professionally until I was about 10 or 11. And then my uncles sort of and my mum filled me in a bit. Like I've got a bit of a different relationship with my dad. Don't speak to him too often. So I wasn't brought up going, "Oh, your dad was this great player," or anything like that.
You were more focused on the actual shit that matters of a dad, where you're going, "You're not here for me," or whatever.
Yeah, bro. Like I was just more. When I first got told, I was like, "Oh fuck, I don't give a fuck." I was a kid, a bit of a rat bag, and wasn't too bothered about it. And then when I started I've supported the Roosters my whole life, but I always loved Joey and Matty, so I had a soft spot for Newcastle. And
man, everyone loved Joey.
Yeah, bro.
Joey, how could you not?
Like, I've worked with Matty as well.
Yeah,
and I've worked with Joey, and like this is my own personal take. Joey's the best player I've ever seen play. But Matty's one of the smartest people I've ever been around in terms of like dissecting the game and for halves. Like I think he did a lot with Cody when he first went to the Rabbitohs, Adam Reynolds, done a lot with Luke Keary. So like they're just 3 of the halves I've named, and look how good they've gone.
Oh, Cheese. He was saying Matty similar, like what you're saying about Matty Johns before the grand final. He was like sitting Cheese down, going, "This is what you need to do to be the Penny Panthers."
Oh yeah, I watched it.
It's crazy. So yeah, I've heard that before. That he's incredibly smart.
Like he So when I got in a bit of shit at the Roosters and wasn't playing well, he was the one that like he was like looking at me up and down, kind of weird, and he's like, "Oh, you're big through the hips," and I was like, "Fuck, what does that mean?" And he goes, "So if you do this and you take a defender on, and he's sort of standing with his shoulders like that, because you've got a big ass, you'll be able to get an inside shot." Like just little things like that, and it sort of just changed the way I thought about playing.
That's like a detail.
Right, no one's ever said to me, "Oh, you're big through the hips. If you do this, that'll put a defender in a weird spot." But
absolutely.
yeah, as I was saying, I was just running down the wing, put the ball down, and that changed my whole mindset on wanting to be a rugby league player. And from that day on, I lived and breathed it, mate. Like, going to school, people got sick of talking to me about rugby league.
Really?
Like, I'd play on the weekend, and I'd go to school and be like, oh, who'd you play against? Oh, and like, I knew every player in the comp by that point. Like, even if, like, I didn't know them personally, I just knew of them, what school they went to. And then, like, I'm still at it now. Like, in Super League, if I'm playing against a team, I'll know every one of their players, kind of how they want to play, how many games they played. Like, I'm just a bit of a nerd with it now. And I suppose the one thing I want to do now is, like, do things away from rugby league, so I'm not constantly at it. But yeah, I've just loved it ever since that game.
Mate, it's I honestly believe that one of the big keys difference between, like, players that are great and players that are good is, like, the love for the game. So like, you look at any of our greats, like, Smith, Thurston, Lockie, Joey, Fittler, Webke. You look at any great, they love the game. And then how many players have you seen have just as much talent, but you wouldn't see them playing local league if they didn't have to. They don't love the game.
Yeah,
and so that love of the game is, like, such a key ingredient to becoming great, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, it's important. And obviously, like, there's so many kids out there that have got the talent, but they're not driven enough to want to make it at the same time. Like, you see so many people that come in late.
Well, here's a perfect example of it. And this is no knock on him, because I still think on his day he's probably the top 3 greatest players of all time. But I look at a guy like Jared Hayne.
Yeah.
Like, he could be a GOAT.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. But there were some years where you could tell, like, he was just a bit not interested or whatever. And then when he had a crack, he'd win the Dally M.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? That's how fucking talented he was.
Yeah, like, I obviously can't comment because I never played with him or seen him train, but, like, he was so special, mate. It's not funny.
He was notoriously bad trainer.
Right, yeah.
Like, that's what his mates say. Like, in a joking way. Like, obviously, he fucking still trained. But he's a perfect example of, like, I'm sure he would play locally, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But, like, could you imagine if he loved the game as much as Cam Smith?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Holy
like,
fuck.
I just always go back to that series that he played for New South Wales.
Right.
Like, obviously, everyone goes back to his Dally M year, which was...
2 Dally M years, bro.
The one...
Crazy.
Was it 09 when he...
09 and 14.
I think that's the best year I've ever seen an individual play.
Best form ever.
But that Origin series where he went, right, I'm just going to win this for us. And I think he scored a try every game. He done some mad try. That'll, like, always stick in my mind. Being a Blues supporter as well, watching Hainsey do that. Like,
he was the only player that could match Greg Inglis's dominance. Like, it's kind of like, with Greg Inglis, like, he's never had a play. Like, don't get me, this is no disrespect to anyone that played for New South Wales. Like, no disrespect. Yeah, no disrespect to anyone that played this. I'm not sitting here going, oh, fucking, this player wasn't good or whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, Greg Inglis was he's the GOAT outside back, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And so New South Wales always struggled to have someone that could combat that quality.
Yeah.
And Jared Hayne was the only one, in my opinion, on a regular basis. Like, obviously there were guys like Brett Morrison that were real steady and, like, good in defence. But I'm talking about game breaker. I really feel like Hayne was your version of Inglis, but just maybe didn't have the same consistency over a long period of time like Inglis did.
Hayne and Origin level went up another gear.
Bruh,
it's like Inglis though. He went up another gear again, which is scary. But
100%.
Yeah, obviously now that blue side stacked with talent. It's funny how obviously Queensland for that decade or whatever it was had so many players that you just go, far out. I wish you played for New South Wales sometimes.
Yeah,
but then, obviously they were saying that this year in Queensland won too. So, but I think New South Wales obviously with Teddy in that now. We've got
the freak.
Teddy, Cleary, like we've got people there that are just should be there for the next 10 years and hopefully the Blues can build on that and win some more series. Okay, so you were speaking about Matty Johns and then you're loving footy, like massive footy head. So when did you, obviously your first contract was with the Roosters? No, my first contract was with the Dragons. My first professional contract was with the Dragons. I went through Harold Matt's under-16s, SG Ball. And you played New South Wales 16s, New South Wales 18s? Yeah, I played 16s twice, 18s twice, played 20s. So I was lucky enough to make all them teams. Played the Junior Kangaroos, Australian Schoolboys. I was pretty lucky as a kid. Like I made all those rep sides. Well, you're not going to say it, but just for people listening, like you were the kid that was the next superstar. That was, I know you're not going to say that, but from me being in the system and knowing and everyone talking and that, you were that guy. Yeah, and like I think the worst thing for me was like I heard that. Like I'd always hear people would tell you that. And as a kid, I spoke to someone not long ago about it. He said, "Oh, you got perceived as being arrogant." And I said, "Yeah," and I've got no excuse for getting perceived that way. But when you're getting like your boots filled all the time by random people or people that are in like the NRL systems and stuff like that, telling you how good you are as a 15-year-old, That's probably the worst thing that can happen. And I was lucky in a way that my mum's so level-headed in the fact that, like, if I played bad, she wouldn't go, oh, it's all right, like, it's an off day. She'd not give it to me, but she would let me know firmly that, like, you played pretty shit today. And that was always my equaliser. But as a kid, mate, like, I used to, looking back on it, I wish people just told me that I needed to work on X, Y, Z, as opposed to going, oh, fuck, you'll go out there and kill it. Because when you don't, you're like, oh, they said I'd kill it, but I played shit, you know what I mean? But then, yeah, I don't know.
Any young kid, it's like, I actually, I have a theory that social media has actually helped young superstars because it introduces them to the pitfalls and the positives of being semi-famous. Yeah. It's like when you're coming through, even though social media was kind of around, 9 out of 10 kids, it's going to get to their heads. Yeah. Like it even happened to me, and when I had a really good year, it didn't get to my head too much. Like I pulled it out really quickly. Yeah. But there was a period where I was reading the papers, going, "Fuck, I'm killing it." And that took Wayne to sit me down and be like, "You're reading the papers, aren't you?" And I was like, "Fuck, how do you know?" He said, "Well, I can just tell by the way you're playing." So even though there's no excuse for arrogance, there is also a reason for the for that. Yeah, kind of
and as I said, like I wish I went about that completely different, but at the same time, when it's getting pushed in your face all the time, 100%. It's hard. Like. And then on the back of that, you're making all these rep teams, and you're thinking, "Well, fuck, they must be right with what they're saying." But then on the other side, like that sort of kept me like that was people were like, oh, "He's only making it because of his dad." Like, his dad's there. My dad didn't come to any games that I made. Like, he never watched me play any rep games. Like, it was always my mum, my granddad, and people like that. So, I signed my first contract at the Dragons when I was just turned. I think I might have been 15. I made the Australian schoolboys team. I think I got $1,000 at the end of it. Played under 20s at 17. Justin Holbrook was the coach, and played fullback for the Dragons my first year. I think I played about 12 games. I played the SG ball season, and then 4 of us went up. I think Adam Fanua, Blake, Ewan Aitken, Jack Bird, and myself all went up straight to 20s, and we all made our debut together against Manly at Brookvale. No, Manly at Cogra, sorry.
Your 20s debut?
Yeah, 20s debut. So I was 17, those 3 boys were 18. We all made our debut together, and from there, I ended up signing with the Roosters about 2 months later. I had a meeting with my manager, and we sort of sat down, and my mum didn't want me to leave home. I think my one, not regret, but the one thing that I wish would happen was my mum move with me. Okay. Because obviously when I moved to Sydney, I got a bit caught up with living in the big smoke, as they say.
Absolutely.
And like I had no one to pull my head in. Like, obviously had the Roosters there and people at the club to pull me in the line.
They can only monitor you so much.
Yeah, but I just wish I had my mum, like, because I'd seen heaps of boys that have made it and had successful careers, had their mum. I know it sounds a bit childish, but had their parents there to.
You remember, you're still 17, 18, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's not unusual for a 17, 18-year-old to need to continue to have their parents in their lives constantly.
Yeah, I just wish I had that person to go, stop being a dickhead. Like, I had my teammates there and things like that, and then, as you said, there's only so much people that you've just met can say to you. Whereas if you hear it from someone that you love and respect and has been in your life, obviously since you were born, it hits a bit different. But
absolutely. Yeah,
so I was 17. I just, like, a lot of thought went into it. Like, I had the Knights that had offered me a contract. I flew to North Queensland to hopefully play with JT. That was a goal. But I just thought, this is too far away from my mum. She wasn't prepared to move. I got 2 little sisters that are in school that have got friends. So it was more like an unselfish decision. So they got ruled straight out. Wayne was at the Knights. Probably thought it was too far again if I wanted to go home and see my family. Ruled them out. And then, funnily enough, Roosters obviously coming off the back of winning the comp. I just thought there was a quicker segue to play in first grade.
This was 2013 they won the comp?
Yeah, they won the comp. So I went there for the 14 preseason. And they had Jimmy Pearcey and Daniel Mortimer, who was at utility. Obviously, Friendy was the hooker, but I think the Dragons, I can't remember off the top of my head, they had a guy called Shannon Crook, who was a superstar halfback through the juniors. They had Drewy Hutchison. Jack Bird was playing a bit of 6 at that point. Adam Clune. I think Gaz Widdop was there. I think Benji went there. Josh McCrone. Like, there was so many halves.
Yeah.
And, like, I wasn't at the top of the pecking order. Like, I had to play fullback or hooker because they'd play all these people in front of me.
Crazy. It's crazy to think that the Roosters, after winning a premiership, want you, and the Dragons can't, promote you higher up.
Yeah, and like, the Dragons never said that, but in my own heart of hearts, that's what I thought. I'd bide my time. And so anyway, I signed the contract after speaking with Robbo, and I don't know if you've ever met Robbo, but he's just such a deep thinker about the game, the way he speaks. And
I've heard he's literally one of the most smartest footy minds going.
He's the smartest person I've ever spoken to about rugby league.
Like,
I had 15 minutes with him, and I was like, I'm coming here.
Really?
Yeah, I was just like...
So him and Matty Johns are just like on another level.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, they think about the game differently but the same, which is obviously weird. Like, when you first go to the Roosters, well, I don't know, it was the same. I sat in a meeting with all the young fellas on new signings, and there was a sheet of paper with the goalposts, and it had like meters, and like, so it had obviously like the 10 meter, 20 meter, 30 meter, but then it had meterage for each position where you should be defending on the field.
Oh, really?
Mate, it was so like, you'd have this bit of paper and he'd fire a question at you going, all right, so on the 30 meter line, good ball D, where should you be defending if you're a halfback? How many meters in? And I'm like, what the fuck?
And you should know it off by heart.
I'm like, what the fuck? I've never been told I have to defend 27 metres off the sideline.
Wow.
Good ball, 30 metres out. But that's why no one can score against them.
Yeah,
you
wow.
know what I mean? Like, it's so precise with the detail. And then you got Fitzy doing the defence, who's so switched on.
Yeah. Underrated, Craig Given.
Yeah.
Huge reason why they've been going so well. And also a lot of clubs are interested in his services, but he's so committed to the Roosters, he's, pretty much brushed offers. So what Robbo's basically got, the whole field, he's got every single meter mapped pretty much.
Well, yeah, broken down. So he'd I don't know, like fire across to a winger going, where should you be defending if they're on the 40 metre line? And I can't really remember right now. Otherwise, I'd probably still be there. But it's like 12 metres. Wow. So he's pretty much like, I don't care what they do or where they stand. You're going to defend here, because if we do our system, it covers the field no matter what they throw. That's really smart. And then you don't really understand it while it's on the bit of paper, but when you go out in the field and you watch the video and he pauses it and goes, right, I'll just use myself. Because there's a lot of times when I was out of position. Fucking hell, like, I should have been at 31 metres, I'm at 64 metres. But he's like, Jackson, why aren't you at fucking 41 metres there? Yeah. Look what happens. And then he'll play it. And if I was actually 2 steps to the right at the right meterage, I just would have tackled the bloke, or would have been in front of him to make the tackle. So, yeah, he taught me a lot, mate. Obviously,
it's really smart too, though, because it's a very, like, it seems complicated, but actually putting a number on certain areas of the field, it will give you a better idea of, like, okay, this is actually where I need to be. Not like, oh, I need to be, semi, on the tram line, but not really. If you say to me, you need to be 21 metres in the field, you kind of got it in your head, okay, that's about,
don't get me wrong, it's hard on the run to go, fuck, am I at 21 metres?
But it gives you somewhere to go to.
Yeah, if you're there or thereabouts, and that's why, like, at training, it's drilled into you that you stand here, you stand there, and, like, he's just, I think if you ask anyone that's ever played for him, regardless of if they've left the club on bad terms, good terms, if they're still there or not, he's just got your respect. He's just got your respect because of how he delivers a message. And rugby league wise, as I said, he's the smartest bloke I've ever been around. Yeah, I've heard multiple people say he's just like on a nut, like just crazy, loves, like every detail you could think of, he's got it. Yeah, and you can tell that he thinks about the game more than what, like, the average person would, obviously, which makes you a successful head coach. But he's just so, like, I used to get a bit scared looking at him because, like, he'd look you deep in the eyes and intense and deliver a message. Yeah, he's intense, but at the same time, he's a great man manager. Yeah, he cares about you away from rugby league too. So, he was the main reason why I went to the Roosters, to be honest. And then I got segued into first grade pretty quick. So you made your debut the first year you signed. Yeah, so, like, what a lot of people don't know is I actually got in trouble. So I done the full preseason. 17-year-old, new year come around, turned 18. Had a really good preseason, put on about 8 kilos. So I went from this skinny kid that couldn't tackle really, just cared about attack, to a bloke that cared about his defence. So at the Roosters at the time, they done wrestle sessions with halfbacks and back rowers, outside backs, and middles sort of jumped in with the halves and back rowers. But they just chucked me straight in the middles. They said, look, you're going to have to defend as a hooker. Like, so I went from being a kid that would... As a kid, like, I'd jog away and go, you make me tackles. I'll defend on the wing. When we get the ball, I'll just run in and try and score a try. Yeah. To, righto, mate, good luck wrestling Jared, Boyd, all these people, Sonny. And I got smashed, mate. Like, there was times where I'd go home and go, what the fuck am I doing this for? Like, I'm getting belted every day at training. I'd go wrestle for an hour, get smashed, complain, then go on the field. I'm defending a hooker, getting ran over. I just thought, fuck, am I cut out to even do this? But... It taught me a bit more mental toughness, resilience, getting off the line, making tackles, all that sort of stuff that, currently right now I'd class myself as a pretty decent defender. And I'm grateful for Robbo putting all that on me, because if he didn't, who knows, I'd be one of them people that just stand there and just miss tackle after tackle. So, that segued into me playing hooker in my first game. But I finished the preseason off. Had a really good preseason and went back to under-20s for the first game of the year, and we played the Rabbitohs, and we got beat on the bell, and there was just an incident behind the line. Water runner ran out and started giving it to one of the boys, and I thought I was doing the right thing by sticking up for one of the boys, but I lost my head a little bit with it. Like, just got beaten by the Rabbitohs.
Yeah.
First game of a new club, really wanted to win, really wanted to play well. I think I played all right. I don't think I did anything special or flash, but just started going off back at the trainer on behalf of one of the boys. It wasn't even my battle. Like, I only heard it out of the corner of my ears.
Yeah.
Said some things I shouldn't have said. Anyway, like, I didn't think too much of it. I showered up, went home. Anyway, so the Sunday night rolls around, and I got a text message off Robbo saying, can you meet me in my office at 7:45 or 8 o'clock or something like that? And I thought, fucking
dreaded text.
So I was that nervous all night, Like, I was just didn't know what to do. Anyway, so I've rolled up there extra early. Anyway, he was in the foyer, so he goes, "I'll come up to my office." So I've walked up there, shitting myself, and I could tell he wasn't in like the best ever moods and whatever. So he sat me down, and he said, "Did you say this on the weekend to the runner?" And I went, "Oh yeah." And I went to, as all sort of kids do, explain why he did it. And he pretty much went, "I don't give a fuck why he did it. You'll be training with 20s now from now on. I don't want." Yeah, so I've just moved from Wollongong to Sydney to chase this dream that I've just wanted to do my whole life. Done a pre-season. Like, he's told me how well I've done in pre-season, how impressed he is. I feel like I'm growing up, and then I fuck up on the first game of the whole year. And he pretty much said to me, like, I'm not going to put a timeline on it. I don't want you in and around the first grade team at all. You'll be training in the afternoons. And because I was on a full-time contract, I didn't have a job. Okay. So like in 20s, you have to work or study and then train in the afternoon. And like most people might say, "Oh, that's cool. You just get to go to the beach during the day." But bro, I felt that small. Like, I remember ringing my mum in the car, and she goes, "Oh, hey mate, how's training?" And I just went, "Oh, mum, like, I've got to tell you something." And she went, "What?" She knew because my voice dropped straight away. She went, "What?" I just went, "Fuck, I'm dropped from first grade already." And like my mum just went, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like, I went off. I had to hang up, mate. My ears were bleeding. Like, Anyway, so I went home and just self-reflection, Like, I was just like, fuck, I've ruined my chance. I was all these negative thoughts. But then I was like, well, I just got to go back with the best possible attitude. Obviously, I'd be around that trainer 24/7 now because he was our trainer. I had to make amends with him, shake his hand.
So he was your trainer?
He was the 20s trainer.
Oh, so he was spraying your own player?
Yeah, so behind the line after we conceded to lose, that's when it all sort of happened.
Okay, so he sprayed one of the boys and then you defended one of the boys.
I thought I was doing the right thing. Obviously, I said things I shouldn't have said and got in trouble for that. So
okay, I thought it was the other trainer.
No, it was the Roosters trainer. Yeah. So we've made amends, we shook hands, and like I sort of said, look, like I apologise. I thought I was doing the right thing on behalf of my teammate. Whatever. He shook my hand. He said, "You know what? Like, I'm glad you've come to me and said sorry. Let's try and win a comp." Anyway, so I went back to the Roosters under 20s of an afternoon and just trained as hard as I could, and then on the weekends played as good as I could. And then an opportunity come up round 26, and I got another phone call off Robbo all these months later, and I thought, fuck, what have I done now, bro? And I was on a train to go shopping, and he's rung me, and I didn't answer. I went, nah, fuck that, bro. I'm too scared.
Yeah, too scared. Yeah.
And then he rang again.
Oh, fuck.
So I went, I better answer. Hello? I'm on he goes, "Where are you, mate?" I'm on a train to the city. He goes, "Can you be in my office by 5 p.m? And I went, "What? 5 p.m? Anyway, I went, "Yeah, no worries, mate." Yeah. So caught the next train back, straight home, got in my car, drove straight in, and like, when I tell you I'm sweating, I mean, like, I had to take my shirt off, bro, put the aircon on, I had to stay relaxed. I was thinking, what have I done wrong in the last month for him to be able to ring me? Off the field, I haven't done anything, I know that. On the field, what have I done? What have I said to someone? Like, have I sworn? Have I like missed the train? Like, I was like, no, I haven't. Anyway, so I've walked into his office, and he's just he sort of sat back and he goes, "Oh, just shut that door." And I went, "Oh no, this has to be bad." So I've just shut the door, and I've just sat down. I went, I was just sitting there like that, like real upright, like trying to act all professional and that. He's just sitting back. He's quite relaxed, and I was like, "Oh fuck, what's going on here?" And he just said, "You've been going well in the 20s. I've been happy with how you've been going. I played a couple of games for Newtown as well, so like the feeder club." And he goes, "I've enjoyed the way you've played at hooker. Your defence has been good. Your service has been well, and all your coaches have given you good feedback." And I went, "Oh, well, that's good. Like, I'm glad I got some positive feedback on what was a bit of a shit start." And he goes, Friendy's out this week. Was it Heath Lestrade? No, Mitchell. He goes, Orbo's going to have to play 9. And I was like, oh yeah, you know, he's obviously up for it. Plays anywhere, Orbo. And he goes, so you're going to have to play 14. And I didn't hear him correct, so he just kept talking, and he sort of looked at me like, almost as if to say, did you hear me or what?
Yeah,
do you want to play?
You're keen or what?
And then he goes, look at the board, and like he had like people's names in order.
Yep.
And I saw like Hastings next to 14, and I sort of like stopped for a minute. I went, does that mean I'm playing? Like that? And he went, yeah, mate, congratulations, your Rooster number, whatever. And bro, like I just sat back in my chair for a minute and thought to myself, like, everything that I've ever worked for, like, and everything I've ever wanted has just come true in this moment.
Yeah.
Like,
it's
and then
crazy feeling.
Bro, I thought back to like when we had this meeting 5 months prior to saying, you'll probably never play for me. You're going back to 20s. I don't want you anywhere near the first grade squad. To getting that completely opposite message to you're playing first grade for the Roosters, one of the biggest clubs in the world, if not the biggest. So, mate, it was a whirlwind. I was like emotional. Like, I don't really get too emotional when positive things happen. Not too many positive things have ever happened to me, so I don't really get overawed by it. But like, that was one moment where I was like, oh shit, like I've achieved something here. Like, this is what I've ever wanted. And I made the same phone call to my mum. She goes, what is it now? Told her. She goes, we'll go back in there and get 40 tickets. So, you know, like, I've made my mum cry like numerous times, mate, from doing dumb shit. So to hear her like the joy in her voice and to hear her like be so proud of me was like one of the best days of my life.
Yeah, bloody oath. It's just, the debut, you work all your life for it. It's absolutely incredible. So Rabbitohs as well, debut. What's that feeling like running out with that jersey on?
So like in that same meeting, he goes, just I'll send you a few clips, just make sure you're up for it. Obviously they had like all 4 Burgess boys, John Sutton, Ben Teo.
They won the comp that year.
Yep. Inglis, Dylan Walker, Reynolds. Like, they had a stacked team. Anyway, so I'm thinking, yeah, right, sweet. So I've gone home and watched their last 2 games or something like that. And Sam Burgess is just smashing blokes. Inglis is running over everyone. Dylan Walker was on fire. Like, I was just thinking, like, do I belong here yet? Like, I don't know if I'm ready for this. Anyway, so captain's run rolls around, and no one of the first grade team knew I was playing. So I'm sitting in the back of the video room shitting myself because obviously I hadn't done a session with the group since pre-season. Anyway, I'm sitting up the back, and some boys are going, hey, lad, what are you doing here? I was going, fuck, I don't know what I'm doing here.
yeah.
Anyway, so Robbo gets up and he goes, oh, boys, we've got a debutant on the weekend. And like, they all sort of turned around, and obviously I was the one that hadn't played in there. And he said some really nice things, actually, that I appreciated. He just said, like, look, obviously got off to a shaky start, but after watching him play throughout the year and seeing his attitude change, he won't let you down. And hearing him say those words was just like, it was comforting for me to understand. And then as soon as he gave me my jersey, and I just said thanks, like, it's an honour and a privilege, Jared and people in Sam Mower and people like that in the middle come up to me. It was just like, you know what, they're going to run at you, but we're going to be side by side, and we'll make sure that you're going to get looked after. Sorry. And to their credit, they did that. You know, Jared and Sammy Mower and Isaac Liu and C.Y. Tucker, people like that just really looked after me out there, and I'll be forever grateful for that. But you know, was told not to get out in the news, and you know, you sort of work in that sort of world in a way. I wake up to about 55 text messages, and I was thinking, fuck, who knows? And I was on the back page of the Daily Telegraph, and as soon as like, it actually calmed me down, because I was like, all right, it's out in the open now.
Done now.
There's nowhere to hide.
Yeah.
And I went to a cafe called Skinny Dips in Bondi, where like we all used to sort of go. The lad used to look after us, and there was 2 South Sydney lads in there.
No.
Who was it? I think it might have been like, I can't remember who it was, but I just walked past him with my head down, and then there was a couple of random people in there like, oh, good luck tonight. And I was like, fuck, but don't say that. Like, I don't want anyone to hear. Anyway, but I went to the team hotel, and as soon as I surrounded myself with the players that were already in the squad, that's when my nerves sort of settled, and got to the ground, couldn't believe what was happening. So all my family were in like the open air box on the far side of the field. I ran out, gave them a wave and a smile, and then I was just sitting on the bench waiting for my chance. I didn't think I was going to go on until like late in the second half, and got to about 25 minutes, and trainer goes, warm up. Yeah, you got 5 minutes and you're on. And then as I got the card to officially walk on, Sam Burgess got subbed off, and I don't think Sammy will remember this, but he sort of stopped and got in my way a little bit. So me being the young kid, I just tried to like sidestep him like nicely. Yeah. And he went, fuck me, you're in for a long night.
No way.
I just went,
fuck, head noise.
Oh, bro. I was like, what the fuck? What do I do, bro? So they've kicked down anyway. I've chucked my card.
What a great line to say to a debutant.
Lad, like he's run off. Literally, I've got my card off our bench. He's ran to his bench. So I've walked here. He's timed it. He's stopped.
Stepped into
the way and just gone, fuck me, you're in for a long night.
Wow.
And as soon as he said that, I went, oh my God, bro. Like, what am I actually in for here? But my first ever tackling in first grade, I still remember it. So I went on, had a run, got tackled, settled all my nerves. So I was buzzing about a bit. And I remember Piercy was kicking one low and hard into like the left-hand corner, and GI picked it up. And because I was that enthusiastic, bro, like I sprinted down and we're in like an arrowhead. So it was me, and I still remember it, Skidsy and Piercy. So I'm flying down there going, keep a line. And it was flying.
Yeah, you're on debut.
And GI scanned the line and thought,
yes,
Jackson Hastings, how easy is this? Got off with like a 30-meter run up, bro. I've got it like on one of my phones somewhere. He's just run and just gone like a double arm bump, sat me on my ass straight away. And that was my welcome to first grade moment, my first ever tackle. I thought, fuck, this is going to be a hard night. He was right.
I mean, it's good. Like Sammy, it's just crazy these things that you achieve. Like you got, obviously he's given it to you. Yeah. But it's just cool to say like Sammy Burgess, Gringlas, like to be able to say you played those two legends of the game.
And a year later, GI presented me my Junior Kangaroos jersey. He played fullback. I played fullback. So
how good's that?
Had a bit of a laugh, and then I got to know Sammy. Obviously, I played Great Britain with Tom, but I played with George over in England. So Sam was over for our jersey presentation for all our debuts for Wigan, and George obviously made his debut the same day as I did, and he sent me a message after it, just like a long message saying like, pretty much congratulations on turning your career around. Make sure you do well tomorrow night and lead the boys around. And he's just been so nice to me ever since. So.
Yeah, walk us through you go. Obviously, you had your issues at England, but you spoke. I mean, issues at the Manly, but you've kind of spoken about that extensively. It feels like going to England was the best thing you've ever done.
I needed to, mate. Like I was ready for first grade in terms of playing wise. I wasn't ready for first grade in terms of the stuff that comes with it, and that's why I'm so big on like the mental health side of it and being proper ready to play first grade. I think. There's kids that have all the talent in the world that you could throw in there, but it's when you get beat by 30 and you play halfback or fullback or hooker, you've got to be able to wear the brunt of it. And regardless if it's your fault or not, because you play in that position, at the end of the day, it is your fault. It's like playing quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's your fault if you lose. And at the end of the day, it might not be, but as you know, it is.
Yeah.
That's your job to get the wins on the board for your club. And obviously going through those struggles at the Roosters and being let go, because of results and a bit of attitude and stuff like that, and then obviously going to Manly and that sort of stuff happened and not getting to go, I needed to go to England and not only reinvent myself as a player but a human at the same time. I didn't want to be known forever as
the kid with talent that bloody blew it all.
Yeah, the kid with talent that was a dickhead pretty much, and that was how I was labelled. And some people might still think that, and that's fine. Everyone's gonna have an opinion, and there's that stigma there that I need to slowly keep breaking. And I went to a club in England called Salford. I'd never ever heard of them. Ever in my life. I just got a contract on the table from my manager, and he said, Sammy pretty much said to me, "You're going." Like he knew from the sake of my career and my life, if I wanted to achieve anything, I had to get on the plane and go. And there was a lot of tears, like, no, I can't, I don't want to, blah blah blah. And he just pretty much said, "Mate, you've got to go." And it's the best decision I've ever made. I've obviously been lucky enough now to play in 2 grand finals in a row. This year was a bit different, but I got to play at Old Trafford in front of 70,000.
Wow.
I've played for Great Britain. I've won a Man of Steel. Like I've achieved so many things that I never thought I'd ever achieve here in Australia because of the issues that I've found myself in. So, yeah, I'm forever grateful that I've been able to go over there and play and like I'm so well accepted by the fans and things like that. So it's crazy. Obviously, a kid that no one really had time for to go over there, and it's a complete opposite. Sorry, but like I've had shit days over there. Like I've had personal issues over there. Relationships that are broken down, and the best thing I've ever done, and it happened last year. I saw someone for 7 months, a psychiatrist that is.
Okay.
Every week for 7 months, and it's just completely changed me as a person. Even when I went on that Great Britain tour, I still didn't think that like I was there mentally in terms of where I wanted to be as a person. I still wasn't great at making good relationships, or I wasn't quite there in terms of understanding who I can say certain things to. And I went away from it all, and I started my tenure at Wigan, and I didn't quite fit into the culture as such straight away. Right now, I feel like I'm really embedded in it. Like the boys respect me and things like that, which is great. But it took so much hard work and tears away from actually training and playing to get to a point where I feel like, oh, these boys actually respect me. So you know, like it hasn't all been sunshine and rainbows. Like on the field has been great. I've been pretty successful and stuff, but I've had to put a lot of hard work into Jackson away from rugby league to gain that respect of my fellow peers.
Absolutely, because as I said, you've always had the talent. It's I guess, and this is just being brutally honest from people that I know that have known you. It was honestly just the off-field stuff.
Yeah.
It was just the off-field. One day it would be good, one day it would be bad, and it was kind of like we can't really get a read on the guy.
Yeah, and you know what, bro? Like I was always like, why the fuck do they not like respect me? And as a kid, I was like, what's wrong with me? Why am I so different to them? They do the same thing as I do, but then at the same time, I never built a foundation with anyone to have that relationship where we could talk.
Yeah.
I didn't really want to hang out with anyone. I'm a bit of a loner in a sense that like I like to go home and just chill out, which is fine. But because I didn't make those relationships at training, they were like, well, fucking he's a rude prick for not
Absolutely.
wanting. You know what I mean?
I had the same issue. The difference was that like I was always so nice that like it was never a problem.
Yeah.
But when you bite back a bit and you haven't built that foundation, that's when the drama starts. Yeah. But you've got to, even if you are a loner like I was, and I would go home, play video games, I just wanted to relax. You have to put yourself out and build that relationship. Even if it doesn't suit who you are, you're in a team environment.
And the worst thing I ever did was go, well, fuck, there's nothing wrong with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I sort of went like, well, they've got the issue with me, so why do I have to do that? And I was in denial for a long time, mate. And as I said, until I went and saw someone I wanted to nail down like, right, I want to just gain their respect. So if I have a moment, which I always will, if I have one of these moments where I'm a bit of a dickhead, I've got a relationship with XYZ where he can come up to me and go, look, you're a bit of a dick, just do this. And I'll actually respect the fact that they're doing that. Whereas at the time I was like, why the fuck are they saying that for? Like they've done that as well. But at the same time, they've been at the club for 10 years and got the respect off the playing group.
Built the relationships.
And it was hard for me to step into another environment like that. Like they had Sean O'Loughlin played, I think, 470 games for Wigan, one of the greatest players to come out of England. Tommy Luluwai, same sort of thing. Liam Farrell, Sam, like these boys that have been at Wigan for so long that have had this culture instilled in them. And at the start, I think they were a bit like, whoa.
So you were at Salford for a year?
I was at Salford for it's weird. I went for the back end of their 2018 season, re-signed for the full 2019 season. Then I signed with Wigan for 2020 and 2021.
Okay. So did Salford make the finals 2019?
Yeah, so 2018 they were in a relegation battle because over in England they have a £1 million game. So if you finish a certain position, you play that. And the whole reason I went over was to, as dumb as it sounds, to help the club stay up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we were lucky enough to be able to achieve that. So in 2018, after all the Manly drama, to actually achieve a little goal was really nice. And then I had a couple of offers from Leeds Rhinos and Wigan Warriors for the 2019 season. But at that stage of my life and career, I felt like I owed it to a place that really helped me become a better person and player to stay there for another year. So I did that and had a really successful year. The coach and the CEO put a lot of time and effort into me away from rugby league, which made me happy and a happy player.
You know what it sounds like though, bro? Like, and I could be totally wrong, so just pull me up. But like, because you went to Salford, it's like the perfect storm. Because it seems like if you had gone to an established club, you would have clashed with the older boys.
Yep.
But because you went to Salford, you were the big dog.
100%, bro. And like, as dumb as that sounds, the whole game plan was, right, how can we get Jackson the ball here? Or how can we... When I come in, like, I was always competitive, always trained pretty well. Yeah, I had hiccups at the Roosters as a kid, obviously with training and stuff, like first pre-season. As a kid, some days, to be honest, I went in half-hearted and I was pretty shit. And I suppose people might have labelled that a bit of an attitude issue.
Yep.
But for me, I went from a SG ball pre-season, never done a 20s pre-season to a full-time first grade one. So I did struggle. I make no excuse for that. But that was...
And to be fair, for people listening, every teenager struggles.
Yeah.
Some people just don't voice that struggle. You know, so like, I'm the kind of guy, Tom Trbojevic is similar, like, I'm sitting there going, this is fucking crazy, and I'm wigging out, but I just won't say anything.
Yeah.
Whereas I assume you're kind of the guy that, because you were so wrapped up and like built up as this next big thing, you kind of had the confidence to be like,
well, it wasn't even confidence, bro. I was just more like, I said how I felt, which is what I've learned. Like, you can't always say how you feel. No. Sometimes you got to be able to bite your tongue and just let other people talk. Whereas I sort of spoke out of turn, and at the same time, I didn't understand that at the time. But now I'm 25. I was 18 at the time, and I've played in teams where I've played with little people that young people that reminded me of me. You know what I mean? I've got there's kids at Wigan, and I say kids, they're like 18, 19, 20 years old, And I watch them walk around with their Gucci slides, like not strut, but like
just
I was like, fuck, no wonder people were off me. Like,
100%.
Because like I was like that, you know what I mean?
Haven't earned the right to really do that.
I'd earned nothing.
And
And in the back of my mind, I felt like, I'm at the Roosters, I'm in first grade, I'm entitled to it. And mate, you're entitled to nothing in rugby league. It's nothing. It's the biggest equaliser of all time.
Absolutely. Okay, so that second season, so you fight your way out of the relegation zone in 2018. That second season, you go on this run, and I'm assuming you're enjoying footy.
Yeah.
You're loving it. Talk about the run to the finals and the grand final.
Yeah, so at the start of the year, you do this like Super League launch, similar to the NRL, obviously, and I went there with the captain, Lee Mossop at the time, and there was a big it's like a sports bet thing, and it had like the prediction of the ladder, and we were paying like something like 1,000 to 1 to make the finals, and we'll odds on favourites to get relegated.
No way.
So I remember I always believe we can win. So we sat down in a room with a whiteboard. It was just players only, and because Salford haven't been so successful over the last for their existence really, but especially the last couple of years, they were in the £1 million game before I got there, so they could have got relegated. They were in that battle again. They were sort of on the bottom four always. And I remember I just stood up and I said, why don't we just try and win a fucking comp? Why don't we just go for it? When we go to Saints or Wigan, why don't we just go there with an attitude of well, fuck you, we're playing you. Let's just play our style of footy, which was attacking brand of footy, defend the best we can, but when we get the ball, let's just toss it around anyway. We'd won our first two, we were flying. We played against London and Huddersfield. We won by 40 both games. Then we got a massive reality check. We played Leeds at home, and they beat us 58-4.
Fuck.
And so then you sit back and you think, fuck, you're not as good as what you think you are, or what you're saying you are. But then we're sort of inconsistent throughout the year. We won games that we probably shouldn't have. We lost games that we were ahead by 14. And it got to a point where we got beaten by Hull KR at Magic Weekend. It's just a round where everyone plays. Oh, it's like what the
Magic
does. Yeah. Yep. And our coach sat us down and went, look, you've either got to start winning, or we're just going to be fucking in the same spot we've been in for the last 10, 15 years. So it clicked for everyone, and we went on this mad run, bro. We won 12 in a row.
Oh, right.
It was just crazy. We went to France, beat Catalan there. We're going to everyone's home ground, winning and we're winning We're winning 38-0, 38-6, 40-10, and everyone's confidence just grew and grew and grew. And then we had to win a game to finish fifth. Anyway, we finished fifth. We'll sit in fifth, and we needed results to go our way, and we ended up finishing third. So
how good.
We got 2 bites of the cherry over there. It's a top 5. First team gets a week off. Second and third play. Fourth and fifth play. Loser of the last 2's out. Winner plays first of our semi. We play the winner of the lower semi. Anyway, so we rock up to Wigan on a Friday night. I'd already signed for him for the next year. So
so your form was already really good, and Wigan were obviously the big dogs in the competition.
So I signed for Wigan the first game of that streak that we went on.
Okay.
So people were the Salford fans were he's not going to give a fuck. He's just going to toss it away.
Okay.
He's going to Wigan. Why would he care about us? And I went the other way. I was like, no, I want to try and achieve something really special for this club. I want to, I've had this such poor reputation. I've got this great rapport with the fans in England, and especially Salford. I want to give everything to the jersey, so I'm remembered somewhere for the right reasons. I'm remembered at these last 2 places for the wrong reasons. I want to be remembered as a good footballer, but someone that gave back to the community. You know what I mean? So I did all my stuff off the field, but I just wanted to deliver on the field. It was time for me to sort of go from, the guy's got potential. He could be a good player to, right, you've got a team here that isn't meant to do well. If you're a half-decent player, you'll take this team to where it needs to go anyway. So I had that just driven in the back of my head. When I turned up to training, I had reasons to just not train, or it was too cold, or I couldn't be asked. I'm in England.
Or just do the minimum. Do what you're told to do, and then you just kind of whatever.
But my whole attitude from the 2 situations I was in previous has flipped to I want to be remembered as a good footballer, not a dickhead. So I just turned up to train and trained my ass off. And I think the boys looked at me, and I'd spray a few people, but they'd look at me and go, well, he's winning the fitness. He's trying his hardest in the gym. He's doing he's being early to get treatment. He's doing all that. So I just wanted to be the ultimate professional there. And so I signed with Wigan 3 months before the semi-finals. Anyway, we went on this magical run, it was a fairy tale run, and we got Wigan on a Friday night at the DW, which is Wigan's home ground, and they beat us in this thriller, mate. It was 16-14. George Williams scored a try to beat us with 5 minutes to go.
George Williams.
Yeah, he scored him and Oliver Gildart, and had this mad play, and he ran 60 to score anyway. We had to play Castleford Tigers, who had beat Warrington. And the Cass players paid for their fans, like buses for their fans to come to our home ground to play against us.
Yep.
So we, as a group, sort of took that as like, well, they think they're going to walk all over us here. They think they're going to roll us. And to be fair, they had a great team and had some pretty good individuals in their team that on their day could beat anyone. But we rocked up and we won 20-0.
Fuck yeah.
So that gave us another chance to play Wigan at Wigan. I just remember like Wigan got smashed by Saints in that semi they played, and we just had this confidence like, right, we're on a roll here. We probably could have beat Wigan the first time. We've gone out and played the best game of our season against Cass in the semi-final. We're going back to Wigan. We took 6,000 people. Like the grandstand from our end was full, mate. Like deafening the way they were going on. Like Salford, this is their one chance in a million years to get to Old Trafford, and we're here and we're a part of it. So the day of the game, my family flew over. I didn't know. Yeah. So anyway, I've walked out for warm-up, and the trainer goes, "Oh, your mum's here." I went, what? So I've turned around, long blonde curly hair with a Hastings jersey on, my two little sisters.
How good.
Oh, it was crazy. And then as soon as I saw them, I kind of thought, fuck, I've got to play well now. Like, I've really got to play well now. And my granddad's flown over. There's 6,000 Salford supporters. Anyway, so in the warm-up, they're singing and chanting. And, like, I just felt so energised, man. Like, I felt like we're going to win this. Anyway, nothing went right for Wigan. Kicked out on the fourth kickoff. Christian who kicked the penalty goal from 50. Yeah. So we went 2-0 up. Anyway, we're back and forth. Willie Isa plays back row, got a crap pass on last tackle. He booted out on the full. We got another penalty 2 tackles later, kicked the 2 points. Scored a try, went in the break 10-0. I just was like, fuck, boys, we just don't need to score. Just defend. Went on and scored another 3 or 4 tries. I think we ended up winning like 28-4.
Wow.
And we watched it not long ago, didn't we, together? Someone scored. Lee Mossop scored with like 12 minutes to go to put us up 28-0. And the images of like me carrying on, running past him, like boys that have been in the club for like the £1 million game crying, like the people in the fans were crying, throwing shit. And then like when the siren went, I remember Tuilola here, who had a pretty bad run with Leeds and come to us and turned his career around again. Like we were just hugging on the floor. There's just random blokes from everywhere just right on the field, bro. It was like mad. Man, it was crazy. Like to achieve that and to get to a grand final was so special, man. And then obviously the week of the grand final, so cool. You dream about doing that as a kid, and then we ran into a red hot Saints team. I think they beat us 24-6 or 25-6, something like that. They played really well, but the occasion, like playing for that club, being written off at the start of the year, what I'd been through personally, to go like full 360. I'd won the Man of Steel the week of the grand final too.
How good is that?
So like to have my family there for that was like extra special. And then 2 days after the grand final, get called on the Great Britain tour. Like it sort of just made me realise that if you work hard enough, and like no matter what's actually happened previously, and no matter what people think of you from previous or past experience, if you work hard enough to want to change, that's the main thing. As not only a player but a person, only good things can happen too. So I think like I'm not here to pat myself on the back, but I am pretty proud of how far I've come as a human. Like it's been a shit ride, but a good ride at the same time
crazy
too.
Ride. So crazy ride.
Yeah, the Salford part of me I'll remember forever. It's just like a special place in my heart.
So this grand final that you just went through, heartbreaking grand final on the buzzer. Walk us through that fucking last play. What happened? What's doing?
Bro,
Didn't you not take the 2 as well? You could have taken... No, you did take the 2 or some
we
shit.
took the 2 and it fell short.
Whose decision? No, actually, no, you don't.
That was my decision.
Your decision?
Yeah, that was my decision.
Oh, fuck.
Well, sorry, it wasn't mine, but I as soon as the penalty happened, I said, are we taking... Like, I pretty much went, are we taking the 2?
Yeah.
And no one wanted to make the call.
Yeah.
So we had to go to Zach, do you reckon you can kick it for me? And he backed himself, and unfortunately for us, he missed, but...
It's one of the things like hindsight, like everyone will be like, well, why'd you take the 2?
So everyone said, why didn't you kick it out, have a shot at field goal?
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, what if I missed it and they got 7 tackles?
Yeah.
But there was 1:40 to go, and the nervous energy, I think Zachy kicked it a bit quick.
Okay.
He could have used the clock a bit more. But in the same breath, we didn't fucking chase it. So Johnny Lomax caught it on his try line and ran to the 40.
Yeah.
So that was play 1 with 50 seconds to go.
Okay.
Then obviously they're rolling us a little bit.
To be honest, that's probably the biggest mistake, because that's something you can control. You knew it was a long kick.
Yeah.
And you all probably should have pushed up.
We should have chased 100%.
Yeah.
And anyway, so they've rolled, and I was in the tackle leading up to the field goal, and I was third man, so I've ripped back short side. And the two boys at marker did an unbelievable job. Tommy Makinson coming off the wing to kick it. He's on a tram line. He's nailed it, and we just all like the old look over our shoulder, and it was travelling, mate. He would have kicked it from 60.
Yeah,
and it's hit the upright, bounced in front of the post, over the crossbar, and Bev's obviously went to shield it.
Yeah,
and obviously like a rugby league ball, it was
just see where it's going to go.
Mate,
give it a chance.
He was just tracking it and just went bang. He went one way, the ball went the other way. And credit to Jack Wellesby, his name is, just flew past, and he jumped dead and done one of them miraculous put downs.
Yep.
Anyway, they've all celebrated. And I've like sat on the ground. I didn't know what to think. I was like, fuck.
That's actually happened.
Yeah, so anyway, video ref. So we're all watching it. And I remember Alex, it's funny to say it now, but I remember Alex Walmsley from their team, front row. He goes, get it down, you. Like, and he's like, they're all like that. Yeah. We're all on the ground going like that. Anyway, I heard, like, you can sort of hear the touchy, because they've all got the ref mics on. Yeah. I was sitting near him, and he went, yeah, man, I'm going to go to the big screen. That's a try. And as soon as I heard that, just pure heartbreak, bro. Like, that game, if anything, deserved golden point, I thought. But at the same time, for a kid, I think he's 19, Jack Wellesby, to have the presence of mind to chase, unlike what we did, and to compete like that and score, you just got to tip your cap to him.
Fair play to him. But,
like, when I look back on that game, mate, I want to win everything I'm in, and I'm so grateful I've played in 2 grand finals, but so heartbroken at the same time I haven't won one. But that game will get played forever over there, and maybe even in Australia. It was one of the best. That's probably the best game I've ever played in terms of physicality. The ref letting things go that he probably wouldn't. Like, there's people bleeding. Joe Burgess played with a fractured cheekbone. Oliver Gildart played with a broken hand. They had Alex Walmsley, who played with no cartilage in his knee. You know,
James Graham's last game.
Sean O'Loughlin's last game. James Roby, like, one of the greatest players playing for them. Like, people bleeding. It was iconic in a way, especially with no fans there. It could have went either way, but we turned it into a spectacle too. So, you know, I was heartbroken, proud. Like, I was all these different emotions, whereas the first grand final for Salford, I was pure heartbroken.
Yeah, okay.
Like, no one could talk to me for a few days until I got the Great Britain call and things like that. But, you know, I'm still chasing, as they say, chasing a ring. Like, it's all well and good playing in as many grand finals.
You got to win one.
You got to win one, man.
Hey, at least you've been on one. I haven't been on one.
Yeah, I know.
Like, you're better than me.
Like, I am proud, bro. Like, to say I've done it with 2 different clubs, 2 clubs that one's expected to win, one's not. Things like that too, but I just want to win so bad, bro. Especially seeing them carry on.
Fucking hope. That hurts. The carry on hurts the most.
That hurts the most. And they've got every right to, but they run past you and you're like,
whooping up. Woo!
Yeah.
He's like, fuck. Yeah. Sort of fight him. Favourite rapper of all time?
Drake's
Drizzy Drake.
Yeah.
I've really done a 180 on him. There was a while there where I loved his music, but I was like, I feel like he's manufactured.
Yeah.
I feel like it's ghostwriter and that. I spoke about this in the last podcast, but I feel like, nah, even if he has sometimes a ghostwriter, he's just delivered so many hits.
Bro, like,
you've got to respect him now.
Every song that he sings, it just catches on, eh?
It's a banger. When has he ever released a bad song?
Yeah, I can't really remember. Like, I was driving up here with my cousin, and he knows every song off by heart as well. So
yeah,
I think Drake,
he's just earned my respect. As I said, there's a period where I was like, man, I just feel like he's a manufactured pop star.
Yeah,
but I'm like, nah, no way. He's a gun. Favorite movie of all time?
The Blind Side, bro.
Yeah.
Anything
bro, you know, it's fucking weird. Is the last person, Ronaldo, that was on this from the Sharks.
Yeah.
His 2 answers were Drake and The Blind Side.
No way.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Unless I'm fucking... Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Anything sport-related, I'm already connected to. But then, like, obviously... True story. He actually plays in the NFL. Like, it's just a cool little, like, sort of fairy tale.
Fucking oath. Anyway, though, thank you so much for coming on again, bro. Appreciate it, and I'll hopefully see you back in the NRL one day. Maybe, who knows?
Hopefully, brother. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Boom.